Oh, I'm making a little still for a photo. So I just got Elyse Myers's new first, I guess it's her first book. That's a great question. I'd love to tell you. And I am going to be reading this book. I am not a professional reader in any way. I don't personally know Elyse Myers, or technically, or biblically. I don't know her. But I have loved her content. And I've also read a little bit of like nonviolent communication on YouTube. And people still will message me and go, "Oh, I really love the way that you read." And it's because at mid-read, I kind of like will pull away and then give my commentary. And so that's what this is going to be about. You watching this, if you're here and stick with it, is you will get through the whole book because I'm going to read the whole book, but it will definitely have me pulling out and giving commentary. This is not obviously a replacement for if you want to just read the book or hear her read the book. I'm sure she has an audio version of her own book. So please consider buying it and supporting her. And I haven't even so here we go. My first impressions are, I love, that's a great question. That's definitely, her whole thing and how she started. Okay, let's see on the back. Extraordinary moments are hiding in plain sight. Asterisk, I can't say that. In this, I need better glasses, context, plain sight, crappy sight for me, is referring to a debut collection of short stories, poems. Oh my gosh, this is so small. Illustrations and oddly specific memories. Hopefully I'll do better reading than that. That was just super tiny. Oh, okay. On the inside here, look at this. Look it. Oh my gosh, that is really good. I love that. I love her style. I wonder who did this. Does she do that herself? Okay. So the side says, "That's a great question. I'd love to tell you is the most creative and vulnerable project I've ever completed," which is ironic because my goal when I began writing it was to simply make myself laugh. Somewhere along the way, I realized this book is for us, you and me, the creative us and the curious us and the us, capital U's on all those, that look for magic in ordinary moments because we know we will always find magic when we look for it. Like most of the memories we replay in our minds, the surface looks much different than the roots that grow underneath over time. Ain't that the truth? That was me saying that. As I continued to write these stories, I began to look at them differently. The longer I stared at them, stories that once felt silly and inconsequential, and the normalest of normal, started to reveal themselves as pivotal points in my life. Stories like, bullet point, playing 7 Minutes in Heaven with my best friend, parentheses, who I had a big fat crush on, but missing major social cues from him the entire time, bullet point, learning how to deal with anxiety by becoming friends with a magic 8-ball keychain and relying on her to make all my decisions for me. Bullet point, the trial and error that comes with learning how to spot the difference between like, love, and toxic red flags with regard to the people I give access to my heart. Bullet point, meeting my husband at a meat counter in a grocery store. As you read this book, I hope that you see parts of yourself within the stories and that they help you realize there's so much beauty in seemingly ordinary moments. That's so cool. That's a great question. I'd love to tell you. That's a great question. I'd love to tell you. Written and illustrated by Elyse Myers. So that was her illustration. And then there's rights and authors and contributors and addresses. I don't think you care about that kind of stuff. If so, buy the book. That's why you should buy the book. Okay, so it really looked a lot. Okay, so there's normal kind of, there's like lots of really cool illustrations. This kind of makes me mad because, this is the kind of book I want to write someday, and now it's going to seem like I'm copying her. because I do think having something that looks really personal and like, for instance, like, look at this, right? So it doesn't just go into this kind of text, it goes into like really cool. I love it. I guess the only thing that I would improve on right now is some of the size on the font here, just because I'm over 50. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. The stories you're about to read are true. I've done my best to capture them honestly through memories, parentheses, like a copy of a copy, tend to evolve over time. These pages include characters from my life whom I love, people I don't like at all, and many in between. Some characters are composites of a few different people in my life. Some names, dates, and details have been adjusted out of love, respect, and a dash of self-preservation to protect everyone's privacy. If you recognize yourself in these stories, congrats, you're unforgettable. Parentheses, or maybe you're not, and the resemblance you're spotting is purely coincidental. Either way, enjoy. For Jonas, you are home to me. Thank you for believing in me enough for the both of us. Okay, here's first commentary from Jenna. Do you guys remember a Jewel video where it's written, you feel like home to me? And there's like a guy in that video with her. I think his name is Steve Poltz. Well, I got to go to some like radio brunch type of thing because my brother was worked at Tower Records forever, and I always got to have all this crazy VIP stuff. So I went to this like radio brunch thing, and I asked him to sign something for me, and he gave me the autograph, and I had him say, you feel like home to me. I think that's what it said, like written on her body. I haven't seen it in so long. So this is an example of an account of an account of an account. Like, what was going on there? But anyway, you're going to get these kind of Jenna side notes. So if you like that kind of thing, stick with me. This, you know what this is? This is, I used to hate reading and sucked at it. And now I've been reading aloud to my guy. Right now we're reading Infinite Jest. Oh my gosh, which is like the tackle of the world. Like, and the fact, the difference between this and but I've been like really needing something lighter to read, because it's like, I mean, every time I'm like reading, I like set it down and I have to like take breaths and like let my brain stop spinning. And anyway, so I found that I like reading aloud. I also had tons of reading trouble when I was little and had to be in special reading classes and stuff. It turns out they kind of wanted, I thought, me to read like word by word, but I'm autistic ADHD, and ever since the advent of the double time on like YouTubes and that kind of stuff, I recognize, oh my gosh, when I hear things at a very super fast speed, I retain it. So I was actually reading too slow and people were reading in class too slow, because a lot of times they'd have the kids stand up and read, and they would read one word at a time, and then they wonder why I'm not comprehending it. I comprehend it in like big, huge sentences at a time. I think that's a Gestalt learning style or something. Anyway, I don't have all the details on that, but anyway, what was my point? Oh, so you're going to get a very neurodivergent flavor of this. And oh, that was the point, is that I'm reading this for myself, and reading aloud helps me understand. It helps me go at the pace that I want. Helps me also just having this to like sort out. And I'm curious about what thoughts I'm going to be having while I'm reading it. And then if there's one freaking person in the world that watches this and is like, oh, this is interesting to me, or you happen to see something in yourself from one of my asides or whatever, awesome. If nobody sees it, I would just be happy. Or maybe someday I'll just even put this, I don't know if I'll probably put it public, but anyway, this is for me. I'm excited to read this book. And in case you are too, maybe you don't either have the book, maybe you want to kind of listen to it while you're doing dishes or folding laundry or those kind of things. And I'm hoping that I won't, well, you know what? I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to try to get just back to things for somebody else's sake. I'm going to just do what I need to do. If you don't like the extra commentary, don't do this. Get the actual audiobook of her who's not talking, I would imagine. I don't know how to say that. Okay. So now you know the style. This is what it's going to be like. Okay. So Jonas, sounds like her husband's a rad. And then the other dedications here are for August and Oliver. I love you more than you will ever know. I hope you think this is cool. Oh, that's cute. And for 13-year-old Elyse, I'm finishing what you started. You are a writer. Oh, God, I'm already starting to cry. Well, and that's what this is going to be. Oh, Elyse, I hope you don't. Look, now I'm talking to Elyse as if she's going to read this. Like, she's already, yeah. Well, I'm speaking to her spirit. Maybe she can feel it. Thank you. Okay. Contents. I don't know how to read all of these. Lucy, 7. Sophie, cigarette. It's looking like these are all like maybe the chapters, but they're not in order. They're just kind of like, anyway, that's what that looks like. I'm going to probably try to flip this for you guys. I don't know if you want me to read them. I'm imagining all these will be titles of things too. So maybe we'll come back at the end after reading it and reminisce and see if we need to. But anyway, May 25th, 2017. I'm not quite sure when it started, this urgent desire to change everything about my life every so often. An uninvited sadness moves into my chest and grows. Day and night, it grows. Without my permission, it grows. Eventually, it becomes so large and untamed, there isn't room for anything else, and I have no other choice but to admit it exists. I allow it to convince me that running away will make me feel better. Any place will do, just as long as it isn't here, underlined. And that's also was written like in the little handwriting. Then we've got The Door to California. Oh, that's such a great, I love her illustration style. Oh, this is very much how, well, way better, but like a lot like how I used to draw when I did. I need to draw more, but yeah, I just love her so much. The way her mind thinks and how creative she is. Okay. This first chapter thing is entitled Lucy. Some kids have imaginary friends. I did. One was named Jekyll. Some have stuffed animals and security blankets. I didn't have a blanket, but boy, did I have dolls. My favorite one was named Ashley. Oh my God, I'm going to get Ashley. So this would be an example of the commentary and asides that you're going to get while I'm reading this book. This is paint. This is Ashley. Look at my sweet girl. And this that she's in is something I wore as a baby. This is not a doll clothes. This is human clothes that I actually wore. I was only 4 pounds when I was born. Anyway, this was my favorite doll growing up. I guess feels good having her in my lap here. Okay, some have stuffed animals and security blankets. Some become best friends. Here we go. Some become best friends with magic 8-ball keychains named Lucy. You guys, I have magic 8-ball earrings and I almost wore them today. That's crazy. How weird would that have been if you... Oh my gosh. Weird. Okay. Anaheim, California, 2002. The sun has finally gone down in my cul-de-sac. I can see Disneyland's Halloween fireworks from my front porch. My mom is deciding which bed sheet she's willing to sacrifice for my last-minute Halloween costume, a ghost, complete with eye holes and a mouth drawn on with black marker. I avoid costumes that require plastic face masks because I'm just seeing in my mind's eye a plastic face mask of Wonder Woman, and it didn't look anything like her. It was just so oversized and weird. Plastic face masks because California never gets cold enough to wear them without sweating 5 minutes into trick-or-treating. Oregon here, rained. So if you had the sweat problem, we have the get all ready and then can't go out in it because you have to like put coats and things over your outfits so no one can see them. Funny. I'm not sure why I agreed to this. It's like wearing a light blanket all night, fabric lying on top of my whole body, trapping all my heat and warm breath. So much more sweat than a face mask. Oh my God. I'm just thinking about the time that I went as Nancy Botwin from Weeds, and I wore like a wig like hers, and all night long the wig was itching so bad. That sucked. And then I remember another time last minute, I like didn't have a costume, but I had a canvas and I poked a hole on it, and then I just drew the whole Mona Lisa background and I put my face through and I was Mona Lisa. But then I had to like strap this and carry around as if I was like inside of a painting all day, and that was uncomfortable too. I would say I have way more uncomfortable Halloween costumes than anything else. The amount of itching, the amount of nylons, the amount of, oh God. Oh, I get it. All right. Way more sweat than I'm comfortable with. I throw the sheet over my head and my mom quickly marks where she needs to cut so I'm able to see where I'm walking tonight. The first round of cuts is just for practice. Those holes go in the back near the bottom so no one sees them. The second round of cuts is hopefully the last. If we need to do a third round of cuts, I think we have to sacrifice another sheet. Am I a ghost? Am I a slice of Swiss cheese? Yes. It will be whatever people think I am, but mostly I will be warm. It's funny how much time I spend thinking about how to avoid overheating underneath this sheet when I probably won't spend more than 10 minutes outside tonight. I don't like trick-or-treating, and my mom doesn't like Halloween. Something about it being demonic, I'm not sure. I don't like Halloween, but for different reasons. All the decorations scare me. The ringing people's doorbell scares me more. This is why I never sell all my candy bars and wrapping paper when I take part in the fundraisers at school. I remember, oh my gosh, doing fundraisers where we had to sell, what were they? Not dream catchers, sun catchers. Oh, that is so freaking uncomfortable. But you know, I wasn't terrible at it. I didn't like going up, but there was something about it where I got in early and had like one of the first people took pity on me. So I'm like, oh, this is easy. And so by way of law of attraction, I think I felt enough confidence and like did pretty well with it. And then the other thing is, remember when Mount St. Helens erupted? Well, I'm from Oregon, so that was a big deal up here. And I remember like on the back, because my parents would give me like scrap paper to draw on, and it like had all these, I don't know, I think like maybe my aunt worked in some government department or something, so it like it was probably the backs of government forms like that you probably weren't supposed to do anything with, but we just had stacks and stacks of paper. And I just remember drawing a whole bunch of Mount St. Helens pictures and selling them for like 25 cents or whatever, and I would just go door to door with them. And the thing is they were on a piece of paper, but they weren't even like they had backing where it's back scratch paper, and here I'm selling them. I made a killing. And then we walked up to the store and bought a bunch of candy. But anyway, okay, back. This is why I never sell all my candy bars and wrapping paper when I take part in the fundraisers at school. My parents are my best customers because they have to be. My friends, Jesse and Nate, like Halloween very much, and I like Jesse and Nate. They always have the best costumes, the ones that you buy specifically at Halloween store and come in sealed bag or on a hanger. The kind that have photos of models wearing the costume showcased on the front of the package. We don't buy those costumes because my family is more of a DIY costume kind of family. We were mostly that, although that one Wonder Woman mask, terrible. I always want a costume in a bag, but not enough to ask. There are always too many options, and I don't think I'd be able to make up my mind. I like seeing Jesse's and Nate's costumes every year. My 3-year-old brother's costumes are usually a combination of the same few choices. The cowboy, the ninja, the sweatshirt and jeans paired with a horrifying mask that gives me nightmares until Christmas. Because they're much older than me, my brother's older than me too, 8 years, so like he had his own life, and then it felt like I don't know if Patrick's knocking. Yeah, there's a big difference in our ages. Anyway, okay, much older than me. They have already been picked up by their friends and driven to a larger, fancier neighborhood that's known for passing out king-size candy bars. I'm slipping my SpongeBob pillowcase off my bed and preparing for my night collecting as many fun-sized Twix as I possibly can before I get too hot and asked to go home. Twix is, I think, my No, Twix I loved. I love Twix. There's a certain way you can eat them. Like, I don't know, I just can feel eating them. And then Kit Kat too had a very similar thing where I can kind of like take off parts of it. I didn't really like candy very much as a kid, but those were the ones I would like. I did not like Snickers. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Princess Peach and Indiana Jones meet me at my front door, and the night begins. Trick or treat! Each doorbell gets a little easier to ring. By the third or fourth house, my friends and I have fallen into a comfortable rhythm. Indiana Jones rings the doorbell and says, "Hello." Princess Peach stands in front and talks about her sparkly pink dress made of tulle. I stand in the back and say nothing at all. My purpose is to be the third person in our group and nothing else. I am a ghost, after all. A ghost or Swiss cheese. Neither of which does much talking. If anyone asks, I can say that I'm staying in character. I like this role very much. When it comes time, I hold my pillowcase open and empty my mind so I feel thankful for whatever candy is thrown in. The harder I wish for Twix, the further the candy gets from Twix. When I start seeing, oh God, Jolly Ranchers, I get that, and off-brand Mike and Ike's, those are the worst. I stopped wishing for anything at all. I hope one of these houses has chocolate, maybe Twix. I don't know, maybe Twix. I know any pieces of candy that are unmarked or unsealed are bound to be taken into my mother's custody at the end of the night. I write those off as soon as they're tossed into my pillowcase. Mom always asks my brothers and me to dump our candy out onto the floor of the living room so that she can inspect everything we receive. Part of her reasoning is the usual search for suspicious-looking candy that might contain tiny razor blades or poison, or maybe both. Probably both. We should always be suspicious of everything, she says. You never know what someone might drop in your bag. You could be drugged. Do you want to be drugged? I really do not want to be drugged. I am happy to surrender all my potentially sharp and poisoned candy to her at the end of the night. The other part is that she's always scanning our candy for the pieces that she wants to take for herself. That's funny. Mom tax, she calls it. People don't really like when adults ask other adults for free candy, so mom tax seems like an excellent loophole, especially for adults who are afraid to enjoy Halloween because they think it's demonic. And three of us, Princess Peach, Indiana Jones, and the Ghost Made of Cheese, make our way to nearly every house on our block, every house except one. My back is covered in sweat, and I have only one fun-sized Twix to show for it. I don't think the small versions of candy should be called fun size. I think more candy is fun, not less candy. When we finally make it to the fire hydrant at the end of our street, we turn around and start walking home. Our neighborhood empties out onto a main road, and all our parents agreed to let us trick-or-treat alone if we promised to stay within our cul-de-sac. The house at the end of the street, the corner house, is technically equal parts cul-de-sac and main road. If we want to go up to that house and ring the doorbell, we're allowed to, technically. If we want to, but we've never wanted to because the owners of the house in the corner, that's equal parts cul-de-sac and main road, like to dress their house up with decorations that look straight out of the horror movies my brother watches without my mom knowing. This house always has a theme, and it's different every year. And every year, by the way, we live by something called the Davis Graveyard. It is so cool. It's sort of like a big deal here in our little neck of the woods. Not on a cul-de-sac, very busy street. Okay. And every year the decorations get scarier. And every year I tell myself, one day I'm going to go up to their front door and ring their doorbell. And every year I decide that the next year's the year I'll finally try. I hear that they're known for giving out toys along with candy on Halloween. I wonder if they'll have any Twix left. Hey guys, hold on, I yell after Princess Peach and Indiana Jones. They've already started walking home, and I'm still standing in front of the scary house on the corner. I guess that they hadn't noticed I wasn't walking with them. They look back. Do you dare me? I point to the house that has been turned into a haunted circus just for tonight. No, Princess Peach says. You hate clowns, says Indiana Jones. Neither of them sounds as excited or scared for me as I'd hoped they would. I don't think they really care whether I go ring the doorbell of this house. I care very much. Of all the years for me to finally feel brave enough to walk up to the house, it just had to be the year that they chose clowns. Clowns and weird red balloons and fog machines and fake blood oozing from a house that can't bleed. fake blood. Gotta tell you something, because here's another aside. It won't be hopefully too long. But guess what we saw the other day? We're walking by the hospital and we sit down, or we see this. Can you see that? It says whole blood. It says on there, CPDA, whole blood for drinking. I guess it doesn't really show. There we go. And it looked like a what do you call those things where they hang blood? Anyway, and my guy is laughing because he knew that it was leftover from Halloween, but it was because it was near the parking lot of the hospital. I'm like, blood for drinking? Oh my God. And just, he loves watching me feel kind of pranked or whatever. Anyway, okay. Blood oozing from a house that can't bleed. I'm going to do it. You guys wait here. My friends look at each other. Indiana Jones takes off his hat and vest and sits down on the curb with his feet resting in the street. Princess Peach stays standing and picks up his candy-filled pillowcase from the ground. That's gross. Don't put your candy on the ground. They aren't paying attention to me at all. You promise you'll wait here for me? We promise. Just hurry up. I think Indiana Jones must be as warm as I am, and this reminds me of how much sweat I can feel dripping down my back. Ugh. I take one more look at the haunted circus in front of me, and I'm passed by a few older kids as they walk up the driveway, then up the porch steps toward the door. I borrow their confidence and follow them closely. Loud screams and haunting music are coming through hidden speakers somewhere behind all the fog. If I can't hear anything, I think this might not be as scary. I test my theory. I cup my palms over my ears and press hard enough to dampen the sound of the screaming. How can such nice people create something so scary? I'm face to face with a clown with pitch black eyes and a smile that doesn't look happy at all. I think this was a mistake. I think this was a very big mistake. I'm still pressing my hands against my ears when I try to turn around to go back down the driveway, but I end up slamming into a witch and Pac-Man. Keep going, Pac-Man shouts. They hurry around me and say something to each other I can't hear. I'm too far in and too embarrassed to change my mind. I keep going forward, up the porch steps. Glowing eyes follow me through the front windows. Big bags of kettle corn, and oh my God, are those teeth? Teeth line the porch and the front door. Someone else rings the doorbell so I don't have to. At least there's that. A ringmaster covered in blood answers the door. He's holding a top hat filled with candy and tips it toward the trick-or-treaters. Part of me, most of me, wants to ask someone in front to grab a handful of candy for me and pass it back. But I think that would defeat the purpose of this whole thing. And mostly, I don't think that they would do it. First the witch, then Pac-Man. It's finally my turn. I reach out and grab a handful of candy. I don't look to see what I'm grabbing because I don't want to look at anything at all. In fact, I want this entire night to be over so I can go home and never walk near this house again. When the candy hits the bottom of my pillowcase, something makes a loud clink. That doesn't sound like the crinkle of plastic candy wrappers I'd been hearing all night. Something harder. Was it a necklace or maybe a bracelet? All I want is Twix. A trick with your treats, says the bloody ringmaster. I have no idea if he's talking to me or what that means. I'm already walking down the steps, past the smiling clown that doesn't look happy, through the fog machine and haunted noises, back to the safety of my cul-de-sac, right where it meets the main road. Princess Peach and Indiana Jones are both sitting on the curb waiting for me. How'd it go? They ask at the same time. This makes them laugh. Fine, I'm ready to go home. We walk toward the heart of the cul-de-sac, them in front and me behind. I open my pillowcase to see what kind of candy I grabbed from the top hat. First thing I see isn't candy at all. It's dark outside and the streetlights don't seem as bright as they usually are. My pillowcase is a dark blue and doesn't allow much light through its fabric. I reach in and grab it, whatever it is. I'm holding a small magic 8-ball keychain. Did you get anything good? Indiana Jones is looking more and more like Nate, and the closer we get to his house. He's taking off parts of his costume one by one until all that's left are his khaki pants and white t-shirt. The hat stays on. Nothing. It was dumb. Just a Reese's cup, I think. I'll trade you my Twix for your Reese's, Princess Peach says. Her sparkly tulle dress is still very much on. She doesn't look like she's sweating at all. How is that possible? We trade. I'm much less excited about my Twix than I should be. All I can think about is my keychain. I know if I say anything about the magic 8-ball, Nate and Jesse are going to say something to my mom out of excitement, and the keychain will be taken from me before the night's over. I really don't want it to be taken from me. There are certain rules in my house that keep me from consuming anything related to magic, witchcraft, and things my mom calls demonic. It's so funny because I read that nonviolent communication as part of a witchcraft community that I was in. So if Elyse Myers ever sees this, she's going to be like, well, why do I think Elyse Myers is going to see this? Isn't that weird to think, just because I'm reading her book, why in the world would she take time? She's got kids, family, is on a book tour, but no, she's just going to sit down and like, let's see what this girl's doing on TikTok. I'm really gonna see how she's. I want to know her commentary on my book. I don't know. Maybe she'll feel like doing that when she's like 85 or something. Like, oh, remember that book I wrote? I wonder what people thought about that. I'd like to reflect more. Yeah. Isn't it weird how our brains go? And then who am I talking to now? Who are you? Who has anybody? This is way longer than a TikTok thing. Probably no one's going to get this far. All right. If you've gotten this far, will you make a comment that just says, this far? Okay. It sounds like a fine enough rule until you realize how many things my mom calls demonic. This keeps me from watching things like The Wizard of Oz, mostly because of the flying monkeys and not the wizard. My partner, Patrick, he was a flying monkey from Wizard of Oz once before I met him, but I remember him telling me that a lot. And reading books like Harry Potter. The movies were fine. I just wasn't allowed to read the books. One night, a friend brought a Ouija board out at a sleepover. The number of times I was allowed back to the friend's house for sleepovers was exactly none more times. But knowing I'm the proud owner of a magic 8-ball makes me feel like I just won the secret lottery. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it. Just owning it's enough for me to decide that this is the best night of my life so far. The neighborhood porch lights have started to go dark. I don't know how all the parents decide that it's time for the night to be over without talking to one another. Parents can do things like that, talk to each other without talking. I think it's a superpower parents get when they become parents. Soon, I'll have to say goodnight to Nate and Jesse and empty all my candy out onto the living room floor. The closer I get to my house, the closer I feel like I am to losing my keychain. I get quiet. I've been quiet the whole night, but now I'm silent. Being Indiana Jones is itchy, Nate says. He meets his parents at the top of his porch steps and flings his costume through the open front door. I can hear him complain to his parents about his overall warmth and itchiness. His voice follows him as he runs into the house. He throws us back a half wave without turning his head to say goodbye. Jesse lives 2 houses down from Nate and 11 houses down from me, which means by the time that Jesse and I are standing at the end of her driveway, the sidewalk leading up to my front door is almost visible to me through my shifting eye holes. I'll see you tomorrow, Jesse, I say from under my sheet. Jesse tries to curtsy, but it looks more like she's trying to sit down crisscross applesauce. I would have usually taken the sheet off of my head by now. I'm using it to buy myself some time so I can figure out what to do with this keychain. How do I hide it? Where do I hide it? I like how safe I feel under this sheet. I feel like I can keep all my secrets under here. Secrets and lots of sweat and my keychain. All of a sudden, I'm very aware of how tired my legs are from walking all night. I think that she's really dusty and is causing my nose to itch. Hold on, I'm going to put her back. Night, night. And concealing my chest because I'm not wearing a bra. All right. All of a sudden, I'm very aware of how tired my legs are from walking all night. My knees feel like they'll stop working all the way if I stand still for too long. I want to eat my candy, look at my keychain, and go to sleep without brushing my teeth. I walk up to my front door and take off my shoes and socks before walking inside. This is to protect everyone's nose. My feet are famously stinky. I find a good spot on the living room floor and begin the candy sorting process with my mom. I'm surrendering every piece of clear wrapped candy to my mom, as well as a few individually wrapped pieces of Hershey's dark chocolate with almonds. My mom is so focused on sifting through my potentially poisoned candy that I'm able to slip my magic 8-ball into my palm and close my fingers around it. It's just small enough to hide it if I hold my hand against my body exactly right. I'm 90% sure that this keychain isn't going to make it back into my bedroom with me, but I'm 100% dedicated to the 10% chance that it might. I palm the small black and white keychain like a magician I always knew I could be. To my surprise, I hide it so well that my mom completely misses it. My candy has been thoroughly checked. I already know this candy is going to end up being hidden in my closet so that it stays safe, and then I'll forget it exists. Before the words, "You're good," are done leaving my mom's mouth, I'm already standing up and running into my room. Thanks, love you, good night. Success. Aren't you forgetting something? I stop running. My heart feels like it stops beating. I turn around, expecting my mom to ask me for the forbidden and very demonic keychain I'm hiding in my hand. My mom is walking toward me with my pillowcase of candy in her hands. Oh, the candy. I forgot the candy. I hide the keychain behind my back and grab the pillowcase from her. Sorry, I got excited, thanks. I close my bedroom door behind me. I throw my stash onto my bed and jump up next to it. Holding my new keychain out in front of me, I start to think about all the answered yes/no questions that are in my future. Does Nate like me? Start with something smaller. That's a big first question. Will I grow up to be a famous singer? What if the magic 8-ball can't see that far in advance? Will we have pizza for lunch tomorrow? You already know it's not pizza day tomorrow. This is pointless. I sit here for a very long time, maybe forever, trying to come up with the perfect first question. The longer I lie in my bed and think about it, the more pointless my potential questions start to feel. After a few more forevers and many questions being cut off in the middle, I give up. I stare at my new magic friend. I feel like I'm letting down in some way. Written in cursive along the front is the word lucky. I don't feel lucky right now. I feel like a very bad question asker. I wonder if small things like this feel big to other people as well. I hope if I open my journal and write everything down, maybe I'll come up with questions that feel perfect enough to ask out loud. And then she shows her little diary here. And there's the magic 8-ball. And then this is her diary entry that I'm going to read now. God, my nose is itching. Dear diary, if you're reading this and you're not Elyse Jones, stop reading right now. I am serious. I have a secret. I feel bad reading her journal, but she allowed us to. Okay, that's how I am with secrets. I really take them seriously. So it worked. But okay. I have a secret. Are you ready? Really ready? I have a magic 8-ball keychain thing, the thing that has the answers in it. You ask it questions and it tells you your future. I don't know how it works, but I think it actually works. You can't tell my mom. If she knows I have a magic 8-ball, she is going to be really mad and take it. She will throw it away, scribble, probably. I will have a funeral for the magic 8-ball if this happens. I am hiding it in my backpack and I am not going to tell anyone I have it. I got it from the scary house around the corner. It wasn't too scary, just a little scary. I'm not scared of haunted houses and other scary things like that anymore. I still don't like scary movies, but maybe I will one day. Nate and Jesse didn't. I don't. I really hate scary movies. Oh, my dad loves scary movies. They scare the shit. I still don't like scary movies, but maybe I will one day. Nate and Jesse didn't get one because they were too scared of the house. I think that Nate likes Jesse. Does Jesse like Nate? I don't want to ask her because I like Nate. The keychain is black and white and it has a long chain on the end, and the chain is a silver metal color. It looks like this. Drawing. I'm going to name my magic 8-ball Lucy because I like that name better than Lucky, and Lucy is a cute name. I like it a lot. I'm going to ask Lucy a question now, and so I have to go. I will be right back and tell you about it. Bye! My journal has a lock on it, and only 2 people have a key to. Me, obviously, and my best friend, Elizabeth, who lives down the street from my grandma. She gave me the key to hers, but I lost it. I still haven't told her. My brain is still questionless. Maybe I should give Lucy to someone else so that isn't wasted. I hold the magic 8-ball in my sweaty hands and fall asleep wondering what it will be like at school tomorrow with a secret. The school bell rings through the concrete hallways of my elementary school. The bells always surprise me. I wonder if they'll ever stop surprising me. Lucy and I make our way to Mrs. Keegan's room, and I take a seat at my desk, our desk. Lucy, this is our desk now. Lucy lives in my pencil box during the day, and I get to see her every time I reach in for my eraser. All morning, I have been hearing small whispers about a potential sleepover happening this weekend. I can hear people talking about it in class right now if I listen hard enough. But I don't listen very hard because I don't think I'm invited. I don't know whose house the sleepover is at or whose mom to tell my mom to call. I'm not sad about not being invited. Sleepovers make me nervous. The blankets never smell like my blankets. I never know what to pack. The pajamas the girls wear are always the cute ones where the tops match the bottoms. I usually end up having the parents call my parents to pick me up. Sometimes I say I forgot something at home. Oh my gosh. I went on a sleepover once after school to somebody's house, and they had an ant outbreak, and I just saw ants all over their house, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I didn't know what to do. And so I called my mom and tried to hint at her. And when I called, I go, oh my gosh, my uncle died? Wow, okay, I guess you're going to have to come pick me up. And sure enough, my mom, it's so funny with me having to do code like that. I was just trying to think when my mom did come to pick me up, how many crazy things that could have been wrong in my mom's mind. Then I'm sure she felt relieved that it was just ants. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I forgot something at home. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes my mom says it for me. It's easier if I don't get invited. That means I don't have to forget anything at home. I feel someone behind me touch my shoulder. I turn around to see what my desk neighbor wants. She's holding out a folded up note that looks like it's been passed through multiple sets of sticky elementary school hands. To Elyse, from Sam. Samantha's the kind of friend that I like talking to when I'm paired up with her as line buddies. She's not the kind of friend I talk to once school's over. I've never talked to her on the phone or been to her house. I can't even picture her house or her mom. Does she have brothers or sisters? Has Samantha called herself Sam this entire time and I just missed it? This is exactly what I mean. We're school friends and that's it. Jessie's is my only friend who I regularly pass notes to in class. I know what her house looks like and I know her mom's name is Miss Mara. I go to Jessie's after school a lot and I like being there. Her house is nice. I've never been passed a note from anyone else besides Jessie. This is new to me. Why do I feel so afraid to open this note? Before I can reach under my desk to grab my gel pen, Sam and I look at each other across the classroom. She's mouthing the words, "Open it," in combination with some impressive hand movements. Open it. Is that it? In combination with, okay, I already said that. She looks like she's opening an invisible book. Open it. Okay, there we go. I had to use both hands. I silently shout back, okay, okay. Wait, shout back? Okay. Was that loud? Okay, or whisper, anyway, with 2 very large thumbs up. Maybe the double thumbs up will make me look like I'm not nervous to open her note. I doubt it will, but that's fine. I can feel my face get hot as Sam watches me read her note. Knowing she can see me reacting to what's written on the piece of paper makes my face feel even hotter. I wish that I would have taken this to the bathroom and opened it up there. First, is this a prank? Sam has never given me any reason to believe that she doesn't like me or wants to embarrass me, but things I don't expect to happen all the time. I have Lucy in my pencil box. I didn't expect her, so anything is possible. And the note says here, there's a picture. Sleepover at my house? Circle 1. Yes, no. Second, do I even want to go to the sleepover or sleep of? And then it stopped. Is that something that you'd like to read aloud, or would you? Oh no, oh she's already feeling hot, and I think the teachers. Let's see. Do I even want to go to a sleepover? Is this something you'd like to read out loud, or would you prefer I take it off your hands until after class? Mrs. Keegan's voice sounds suspiciously close to my desk. She's whispering. I whisper back, you can keep it. I think I'm happy Mrs. Keegan took that note from me. I wouldn't usually be glad a teacher took something from me in class, but right now I'm glad. I wish something like a sleepover didn't make me this nervous. Why does it make me this nervous? It shouldn't. A sleepover should excite me. I don't feel excited right now. I feel a lot of things, but excitement is not one of them. Parentheses. When I grow up, I'll eventually discover what I'm feeling is anxiety, but for now, the best way to describe these feelings are fuzzy and hot. When the lunch bell rings, I'm too embarrassed to walk up to Mrs. Keegan's desk at the front of the room and ask for Sam's note back. It's not that I'm afraid of getting into trouble if I go up there, because I don't think Mrs. Keegan was that upset by Sam and me passing notes. She puts up with Noah all day, who sits 3 desks away from me and keeps threatening to let the class frog out of its tank if we're assigned any more silent reading. We all put up with Noah. I'm actually afraid of Mrs. Keegan's superpowers. 1, asking questions, and 2, mind reading. She definitely can read my mind, I'm sure of it. I don't want to tell her what Sam's note said. I don't think she'd actually ask, or why I froze when I read it. She's used to me freezing up. If I try to explain those 2 things to Mrs. Keegan, I'll also have to explain a bunch of other things as well, like the fact that I wanted to check no because I'm afraid of new people and new things, but I didn't want to check no because I didn't want Sam to think I don't like her, and I also didn't want to check yes because that would mean that I'd have to go to a sleepover where there would be blankets that don't smell like blankets at home, but checking yes would mean that I get to go to a sleepover because I was invited to a sleepover. My eyes are starting to burn as I stand at my desk thinking about all that explaining. Lunch is too short to explain that many things. I walk past Mrs. Keegan's desk, out of the classroom, and into the girls' bathroom. Every single overhead light in there is working today. This never happens. I spend a little time in this bathroom as possible because the lights are usually half on, half off. It makes this bathroom feel like a haunted house. Oh my God, we had one of those too that would flicker, and we would purposely go in there and do like light as a feather, stiff as a board, and there's so many crazy things that happen in that bathroom. I don't want to think about any more haunted houses. There's something about a dark bathroom with flickering lights that really makes me question whether I have to go to the bathroom or not. I'm going to have to say another thing. One time I took mushrooms on a date with a guy. It was kind of like we were friends, but it was like, is this a date? And I had a really good mushrooms experience the night before, and it was like light and easy, but I was like, oh, this is light and easy. This is something that we can do. Well, I go on a date and learn, what was it? Disc golf. He was a disc golfer, and he was going to teach me disc golf. So we gobble up all these mushrooms and go out to a disc golf park. And by the time we get there, this was not like the night before. I was schmipping balls. I guess I can just say balls. And I just remember looking at his face, and it just started like distorting and looking like completely like a not something that you'd be attracted to in a date. And so then I started getting paranoid. If this is what his face is looking like, he is not seeing me looking hot. I'm sure I'm probably looking like a goblin or something. And it was really funny because he's like, I need to go move. And I'm like, I can't move at all. So he like left me at this park while we're both schmipping on schmipping balls on mushrooms. And like, I wasn't even sure where he was, but I'm totally by myself. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then because of mushrooms, sometimes you get the shruns. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go schmoop at a bathroom at a park. And I just remember like trying to coach myself. And I just remember going, and it was one of those like, and then I go in, and there's like either a flickering, very flickery light, but very, very dark. And then there like some window light is coming through. But I go in there and I'm like, oh my God, thank God there's at least toilet paper, right? But I'm in there and I'm not having the good kind of number two. But I'm sitting in there, and at least I'm not puking too, right? So that happens. All of a sudden, freaking right in front of me, a freaking spider comes down and is hanging. And I'm like, is this actually happening? Because this is one of my greatest fears of all time, is to have my trow down, not being able to get up, not having wiped, not sure if there's even going to be soap or anything to wash my hands. So I've got to wipe very carefully in case. And a big ass spider comes down, and I'm like, oh my God. And so then like this, I'm like, is this actually happened, or is this just like a trip? And everything else is like moving and everything. And I'm like, I think it's an actual spider. And, but then all of a sudden it's like starting to like talk to me, and it's like, made me feel like more assured and everything. And then it like went down a little further onto the ground, and luckily went to the other way. But it was like actually a really beautiful thing, because I think it like kind of could sense I was upset or scared at it. And it like made me feel like I conquered a fear. So it was probably good that happened. I did wipe, I went back out, but now I am tripping so freaking hard that I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I go and I'm like, I'm going to have to call a friend to come pick me up. Or actually, I was trying to call a cab. That's what it was. And I remember looking down at my phone, and then I'm like, oh, wait, I have a password to open my phone. And I remember thinking, I don't know my password. And then just like hearing like, what's a password? What is a password? And then I'm telling myself, maybe I have muscle memory on it, because there's no way I can remember. So I'm like, okay, close your eyes and just let your body do it. And luckily I tried a couple things, and it opened. So I was like working on muscle memory. So then I call, and I finally like get somebody on the other line, like cab company. This was a little bit before Ubers. And so the cab company's like, where should we go? And I go, yeah. And I'm like, so trying to compose myself. I'm like, yeah. So, and then I realize all of a sudden there's a freaking baby now, like a toddler is starting to like look at me and like walk over. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot deal with a toddler right now. And so I'm just like trying not to like look at these people while I also have this like cab thing on it. And they're like, okay, well, I need you to tell me, what is the address? And I go, address? And then I have to like ask this baby's parent. I'm like, oh no, I have to ask them where I am, which is going to make them seem like I'm probably a terrible person or like worse off than I am. Although I am actually on schmugs, and I am kind of bad off. So they would have thought that I was actually what I was doing, but I was really worried about that. Anyway, so I looked at the woman and I was like, hey, I don't know how I masked my voice, but I was like, hey, so like what park is this called again? And then it was just like I said there, what park is this called again? Did that make sense? What call did this park in? Did I say that as a normal sentence? And now it feels like a big delay. Wait, did she understand? Are my eyes too wide? What is going on? Oh my God, is she gonna get that baby? Is the baby gonna come over here? Oh my God. Anyway, and then I'm like looking down, I'm like, how long has it been? And I'm like, and then MacGyver Park, and like, okay, I'm at MacGyver Park. And then the cab woman, she's like, oh yeah, no, we need an exact address. I'm like, and then she's like, I don't know, I'm just at the park. Can it be by the sign? She's like, no, we need to put in an actual address. I'm like, and then she's like, okay, well, I go, I don't know how to do that. And then she's like, well, just, can you, like, is there a house around there? Or it can even be like a business. I just need you to give me an actual address to plug in. And so I'm like, and I look over and there's like, I don't know, probably like maybe a football field worth until there is houses around there. But at that time I was so incapacitated. I'm like, I can't get myself up, walk over to one of those houses and list this. So I'm just like, okay, never mind. Then I remember calling one of my friends and she did come, and actually by the time she got there, I had calmed down a lot more. But that was a crazy experience, which I don't know what that even had to do with what we're talking on the book now, but that I guess being scared, of flickering bathrooms, yeah. Oh my God, it was so scary. Needless to say that that guy and I didn't date it past that. That was a very weird experience. Okay. Where was I? I don't want to think about any more haunted houses. There's something about a dark bathroom with flickering lights that really makes me question whether I have to go to the bathroom or not. Sometimes I think about the time Jesse and I played Bloody Mary in this bathroom. That's what we do. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Play Bloody Mary in this bathroom, which we did. I know I said light as a feather, board, whatever, but we did also Bloody Mary. But then here she says, and I peed my pants because she lunged at me in the dark. She thought it was funny. So I did after a lot of time and a fresh set of clothes. I actually didn't think it was very funny then or now, but Jesse doesn't need to know that. Earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, there's something more I want to say about this bathroom, but I'm like, this is just going to take too much of a tangent. But that's what this is. If you're, again, now this far, you're going to hear this story. So, oh my God, I remember one time people were like, I think hula hooping or doing something in the bathroom. This was a fun time in the bathroom because sometimes it was scary, but this one was a fun time. But I remember that one of my friends, like how goofy she looked while she was hula hooping, made me laugh so hard that I did actually pee my pants. I only peed my pants twice, or no, once at school. I only peed my pants once at school, and this was the time. And I was like laughing so hard. But here's the thing. I laughed so hard that I was peeing, and then I tried to get into the stall. So here's the thing. I'm in the stall. All the other girls are like in the bathroom, like playing and screwing around. And I just remember like looking down, and I'm like feeling my underwear like this to try and see like how bad it was. And then I just hear dee or something, and I look up, and one of the girls was in the other stall and like had looked up over me. So now I'm like, oh my God, what all did she see? Did she see me touching my underwear? I don't know. I might have smelled it too. I don't know. Like at what point of that process and how long had she been there looking over at me? Oh my God. So needless to say, I don't love public bathrooms, and I definitely prefer the kind of stalls where you can't see all around. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that happened. And then later, this was so funny because it had like puddles and it had been raining or whatever. And I remember telling somebody that later in recess that I was in the puddles and I slipped and did the splits in them. And I was trying to say that that's why my pants were wet in the exact area that peeing your pants area would be. And then I did have some kind of jacket or something that I put over it. I do remember having music class that day and having to walk in pee pants. Oh my God, that was just absolutely terrible. Anyway, much love to anyone who's peed, pooped, or had other bloody things that happen. Oh my God, those are other stories for another time. Boy, do I have period stories. But anyway, okay, let's get back to the book. I took myself in a well-lit stall and take Lucy out of my backpack. I finally know what I want to ask you. I say to Lucy as I hold her in one hand and hold the stall closed with the other. The locks work just fine, but there's way too much space between the door and frame to trust them all the way. I hold the stall door closed just in case. Should I sleep over at Sam's house this weekend? I close my eyes and shake Lucy as hard as I can. I realize as soon as I stop shaking her that she will eventually give me an answer, and there's a possibility her answer might be yes in 10 different flavors. My chances of getting no are half of that. I also have the chance of getting some version of ask again 5 different ways, which would put me back at the beginning. Yes, 10, no, 5, maybe 5. I've spent the last week writing down every possible answer Lucy might give me, trying to prepare for the first question that I ask her. Whenever I got around to it, if I ever got around to it, I regret knowing how likely I am to get a yes from Lucy right now. I think I want to go to Sam's sleepover, but I know I'm scared. Why am I so scared? Lucy, can you tell me why I'm so scared? Maybe one day you'll talk back. I shake Lucy for so long that when I stop shaking her, I have to wait an entire minute. Maybe it was 10 minutes, maybe an hour, before the tiny bubbles of blue dye disappear enough for me to see Lucy's answer in the small window. Did I accidentally scramble you, Lucy? I hadn't felt very patient to begin with. Now I don't feel patient at all. Fuzzy and hot and very impatient. A few moments pass in the very bright bathroom, and I can finally make out a total of 4 words. Signs point to yes. I want to try again. I should have asked you a pretend question. I whisper to myself and Lucy in the bathroom stall. I had put so much thought into the first question I would ask Lucy that I hadn't considered the possibility of her answer letting me down. I've made a keychain my friend. I've given her a name. I've carried her around with me for a week. If I don't listen to Lucy now, then what am I doing? I rip a piece of paper out of my notebook and grab the only pen I have in my backpack, a pink glitter gel pen that is a different shade of pink than Sam's. I wonder if she'll notice. I wonder if she'll care if she notices. I recreate Sam's RSVP in my own handwriting. There's no way to hide the fact that this is a replacement note. If the different shade of pink doesn't give me away, the Winnie the Pooh notebook paper definitely will. I hold Lucy in my left hand. I quickly write and then check yes with my right hand. Sleepover at your house? Yes. I fold the piece of paper in half 3 times. I shove the note into my pocket and walk out to the playground for the remaining 8 minutes of lunch. 8 minutes? Was I really in the bathroom for 22 minutes? Lucy, we have to get faster at this. I go looking for Sam while keeping a close eye on my Winnie the Pooh watch that I have worn on my left wrist every day since it was given to me 2 Christmases ago. I finally find her swinging on the monkey bars near the back of the playground. This search cost me an additional 5 lunch minutes. Since I like to be 2 minutes early to the class line, same, just in case, this leaves me with about 30 seconds to talk to Sam and 30 seconds to sprint back to the classroom line. I stand on the ground underneath Sam as she transfers her weight back and forth between the same 2 monkey bars. I'm squinting as I look directly into the sun. I hold the folded note toward her. My mom can call your mom. Thanks for inviting me. Sam drops to the gravel and takes the note from me. You probably shouldn't stand right under me when I'm on the monkey bars like that, you know. I could have kicked you in the face. Sam laughs at the thought of kicking me in the face. I'm not keeping a list of reasons for or against this sleepover being a practical joke just to make me look stupid, but if I was, Sam laughing at the idea of accidentally kicking me in the face would definitely go into the "this sleepover is a practical joke created to make Elyse look stupid" column. I'm just saying. Okay, see you in class. I tighten the straps in my backpack and check my watch again. I like this watch so much. I'm right on time. I sprint back to our classroom's line-up spot, the sound of Lucy and a few other loose items shaking around in my mostly empty backpack as I run. I stand first in line for Mrs. Keegan's class, 2 minutes early, and I think about what I just agreed to. I was so excited to ask Lucy my first question that everything else didn't have time to sink in until now. I'm going to Sam's sleepover. I was invited to Sam's sleepover. I didn't know how badly I wanted Lucy to tell me no until she didn't. She told me yes, and I listened. I think I'm excited. I'm excited. I think I'm very scared, maybe more scared than excited. I do want to spend the night pretending I fit in with a group of girls who all know one another better than I know them. Or wait, do I really want to spend all night pretending I would fit into girls and them? Not really, but going to Sam's sleepover because Lucy told me to go makes me feel a little less scared and a little more excited. Not a lot less scared, but enough. Maybe I'm allowed to go and feel uncomfortable the entire time. Maybe being uncomfortable is okay. Maybe I don't have to pretend I'm not uncomfortable. At the end of the day, I am the one who said yes. Lucy said yes for me. Okay, that was the Lucy section of it, and I think that this is a good time to end this particular chapter because the next one is called 7, and if I remember right, when we were looking at I know one of them was titled Lucy at the front. Where was that again? Oh, I don't know where it is, but yeah, this is just, okay, you get it on all those. And anyway, so we're going to do 7 next. I hope you've enjoyed this first chapter. Now you know what you're getting into with me on the tangents. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, if you want to share any comments on it, I would love that, so that I do know that people, because when it says 200 and some views, that doesn't mean that people are actually like watching. It might have mean that you clicked on it for a second, what's this stuff about, and then like didn't actually watch it. I think there are analytics that you can see, but I don't know on YouTube enough analytics. Okay, I love you, bye.